Welcome to Is Franchising Right for You? With your host, Rick Morgin. Through each episode, we'll demystify preconceived notions about franchising, both entrepreneurs franchising and those buying a franchise. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Now here's the host of Is Franchising Right for You? Rick Morgin.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Nelson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick.
So I started this podcast series to give our listenership, our viewership, the whole range of franchising. And it's really through the telling of stories from different people that I know in the industry. You have a wonderful story to tell. You were born in Venezuela. You built a coffee distribution company in your home country and brought the concept to the US, developed it, and now you started franchising Mr. Cappuccino Espresso Coffee Company in 2022, but you also launched with the franchise consulting company in 2023. If that intro is correct, tell us about yourself and Mr. Cappuccino from Venezuela to now.
Well, let me try to do it as short as possible. I studied tourism and hotel management in Spain when I was 17. I spent 5 years studying in Spain and working in hotels. And at 22, I went back to Venezuela, and of course that I started working there in hotels. After 2 or 3 years, my next step was to be general manager. But by my age, it was not used to have a general manager with 22 or 22 years. So every guy in the industry told me that I had to wait at least 10 years. And I never liked to lose my time. So I started studying economics at night, working in a hotel in Caracas, and studying at night economics. After 5 years, I graduate, and I start making touristic and hotel projects, investment projects. But in the meantime, I opened my own company of hotel supplies. Basically, amenities for the rooms, those kind of those little shampoos, soup, shower caps, and all that kind of amenities to the bathroom of the guest. And we start making that, and that converted in a very good business because we had all the international hotel chains like Hilton, Intercontinental, whatever. And we had all those customers in Venezuela. There were about 20 hotels, only 4 and 5-star hotels. We started manufacturing all that in Venezuela. And after that, we opened office in Aruba, we opened office in Barbados, and we start exporting our product from Venezuela. So in 1998, 1999, that Mr. Chavez, show up, and all the investment went down in my country. I have one of our customer called me and told me, "Hey, listen, find this coffee machine for me." Then he showed me a picture, and it was a Nescafe machine. So after that, I called the people of Nestle, and they told me that was a new project they had in Venezuela to start opening the market in South America with the Nescafe machine. And there was a German guy that was importing the machine. So I talked to this guy, and this guy didn't like to go inside Venezuela. He only wanted to be in Caracas. And I said, listen, I have 25 years selling things to all hotels all around Venezuela. I can handle Venezuela, except Caracas. So short story, in 5 years, my company there installed for Nestle 962 machines in about 12 or 13 cities, the big cities in Venezuela, including Valencia, Maracaibo, Margarita Island, and all that, all those important cities. When I decided to move to the United States with my family, because we have no future there, at least in the short time, and especially my kids, they were in university age, and I didn't want to let them spend their life there. So I look for new horizons, And when I arrived here, it was not my first time. I came here hundreds of times, making business, buying things. 95 of the importation that we did were from the United States. So when I decided to move, I had two choices: or hotel equipment and supplies, that was my experience there, 95% coming from the United States, or the coffee market, that was the second option. The first option, I was competing with my supplier, so that was that was difficult. You know that, Rick? That's
Yeah.
difficult.
Right.
So I start to see a niche of Hispanic and Latin people that we like the coffee in a different way that is served usually here in the United States. For example, you put an American coffee and you put me an espresso, and I go to the espresso. And that's the way that this market is. You put an American coffee with cream. I love it. I like it. Wow, I take it with all my taste. But you put that and you put a cappuccino beside it, and of course I go to the cappuccino, and this market also goes to a cappuccino or a cafe latte. So I found a importer in Miami that was importing the same machines that we use in Venezuela, but with the difference that these machines grind the bean every time that you press the button. The machine grinds the bean for your coffee. Then the machine is an Italian machine, so it's Italian technology. They know how to make an espresso.
Hmm.
And this machine grinds the bean at the moment, makes an espresso shot, and then depending on the choice that you have 8 different choices in the machine. You have espresso, you have American coffee, you have a cappuccino, cafe latte, mochaccino, that is a cappuccino with more choco. You have also cappuccino French vanilla. We also have we call it in Spanish cortadito. It's very famous right now here in Central Florida, let me tell you. And but it's like a macchiato. It's almost a double espresso with a touch of milk. And one of the benefits, additional benefit of the machine, is an Italian machine, as I said before, and all the products come from Italy. The beans come from Italy. The milk is real milk. That's why the flavor is different. That's why our product has body. When you taste it, you say, "Oh wow, what is this?" It's different. So those are original Italian flavors that we can make with this machine, because all the product, the chocolate, the vanilla, everything comes from Italy. So that was the niche that I thought to Orlando. I talked to this guy and I asked the distribution to Central Florida. Of course, that he gave it to me. He was one of my customers there in Venezuela, in Valencia. And after that, we start, knocking doors, showing the machine, making the demos, and all that. And maybe in 2 or 3 years, we had already about 30 machines installed. We went to Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we went to the Osceola and Kissimmee Chamber of Commerce, and we start making new contacts. And as somebody said, networking, networking, networking. That's one of the key words right now in this economic activity or situation. So after that, me and my sons, because I started working with my sons, they were studying here in Orlando, and of course that they helped me in the business at the beginning. When they decide to go, because each one, got university, one of him is married, lives in Canada, the other one is single, so he went to Miami. So you, you understand. So
I do.
I told them, listen, leave everything ready so I can handle the business for myself, because that was the idea from the beginning. to
Mhm.
do a business that I will able to handle from my home, from my garage, with my laptop, with my phone, and with my car. So we start making that. I don't have any machine in my home. Well, we can talk about that. How is the business? So we start the business with the help of my son, and then looking for new customers, starting to discover new kind of customers. Are the hospitals, are some kind of restaurant with breakfast that those were it's places where they serve a lot of coffee all day. So then before COVID, I had the idea to multiply this business model because the different benefit. I said if it was good for me that I had to start from zero in a new place with a new language, not knowing the market and all that, I can help other people to do the same because I know the mistakes. I already passed by the mistake. So I know where to knock the door, where not to knock the door, and what to do to avoid to have a coffee machine in a place that they don't sell for 6 months. So forget about that. Forget about that. So we can save time, and time is money. So that was there was the idea of franchise the business. Before COVID, I was ready to go. When COVID came, nobody was ready for anything, so we have to wait. And after that, well, I realized that is the moment, and I start the idea, my idea of franchise the Mr. Cappuccino service, coffee service to offices, restaurants, hotels, hospitals, etc., where you serve coffee.
There's a few points that are important in the story you just told. First off, when you were young, you didn't take no for an answer. You know, you didn't want to wait 10 years. You wanted to forge your own path. So through your story, you've developed this business, you brought it to the US, you've made the mistakes, you developed a solid business, now you're franchising, but you also described your goal of creating a very simple business model. Now, I know that the opening cost to become a franchisee of Mr. Cappuccino, you're going to have a small inventory of coffee machines that has to be acquired, and you're going to eventually distribute them, right? Because it's a business model where you're not, I guess you could sell the machines, but you're not really selling the machines because your revenue is based on usage. Is that?
Yes, of course. You don't sell the machine. You put your machine, and then the customer buy the product from you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have the control of the machine. If the machine doesn't sell coffee in that point, you can move it to the next one. We used to have a very open contract, a very open agreement that we can make it for 3 months, for 6 months, for a year. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that if the customer decides not to have more the machine, he tell us 2 weeks in advance. And
Mhm.
in the same way, if we decide to move the machine, we advise the customer 2 weeks in advance, no explanation necessary. Okay, so we can take out our machine and put it in another place. And the machine is amazing how portable it is. I can load one of those machines by myself, and I'm not 30 or 35, so you see, it's
Maybe
very
36, right? No.
it's very easy. It's very easy. Even the maintenance of the machine is very easy. We train the person that is going to be in charge of the machine at the moment of the installation, and maybe in 10, 15 minutes, they can clean it and refill it. And once the machine is loaded, you have inside about 100 coffee ingredients for 100 coffee. Ingredients, I mean the coffee beans, the milk, powdered milk, real milk, low calories. Listen, ladies, low calories. The hot chocolate in powder too, and the vanilla in powder too. So once the person in charge clean the machine, refill it, and close it, nobody touch the milk, nobody touch the beans. Only you put the cup, you press the button, and the machine does the rest.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like an ideal business model for any type of entrepreneur? Somebody who is just starting out, perhaps exiting the military, retired people.
Right.
It's a very low cost to get in. The major expense is the acquisition of the machines for the inventory to start to knock on doors. And you expressed three of the most important words in building a business: networking, networking, networking. So, you think about it.
That. Yeah.
You can operate from your home. Maybe you graduate to an office as it grows, but you need a phone and a laptop and your inventory of machines, and you start to network, just as you described in your story.
Right.
There's no, it's not, I don't think there's anything else more complicated than that.
Not at all. Not at all. Because also, listen, we are starting and we want to grow. And by the way, this is a way of growing, selling franchises. And right now we are in a position that we can offer support 24/7 by phone. Because we do it with our 65 customers that we have right now.
Yeah.
We do it. If somebody call on Sunday, listen, the machine is not working. Okay, let's try to do it by phone. And 99.99% of the time, we can do it. So that's the idea, that the new entrepreneur, the veteran, the person that is almost to retire or is already retired, they are not alone. You know something, and this is great, because that was in the first year that I was here. I was in a bank. It was a networking event with some people that they were making coaching. And I remember the words of the general manager, a very good friend of mine right now, that she said, listen, when any of my employee has a doubt, they call me. I am the manager. I am their boss. I am their boss. So they call me, and I try to fix or to answer the doubt that they have. A small business owner, they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. You are there alone. You don't have anyone to ask. Hey, listen, what do you recommend me to do this, to do that? Here we are for these people that is trusting in our franchising and getting in a business that they can grow slowly but sure, because we have a fantastic product. The machine are something amazing. We have machine with 10 years working here. And really, Rick, believe me, we haven't spent $100 in parts. And they are still selling coffee, selling good coffee. So, that's something that we are sure that we can transmit to our franchisee, and that they are not alone. We are here to help anytime.
That is a critical fact to convey to the audience of anybody who's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur through franchising, and may want to look at Mr. Cappuccino because of all of the benefits, from a low cost of entry to all the way to the support afterwards. And that's a system that you've created. You're a very hands-on owner, and people franchisees will certainly come to appreciate that. And that was a great story of how that bank executive was didn't have that support, didn't have people that she could hand off issues, so that her valuable time was spent on critical things.
Right.
So that's a testament of what you've built, Nelson.
Excuse me?
It's a testament. It's a compliment to what you built. Who is your ideal franchisee? Do you have
ideal franchisee? Okay, let's explain this before. We have three different levels to start the business. Okay, the level one is the basic one. The small is as we did, 8 machines, product for 2 months, The amount is, well, I don't say the amount right now because I don't know if I can or not, but that's the first level. The first level, you can get your money back in 5 years. Getting the numbers that we offer, minimum, these are the minimums. Those, if you comply this minimum, you get this. We cannot guarantee anything because that depends of each person in the place. But the second level is 12 machines. With 12 machines, they can recuperate the money back in 4 years. And then we have the 20 machines package that is more than a person that was, I don't know, to say a business when he can see the money quick. So he can recuperate in 3 years, the money back in 3 years. The point is that with the basic plan, for the three models, it can be a partial time business because none of them require a week of work. Okay, the basic model, maybe 1 or 2 days a week will be enough to handle the operation of the machine. That depending if they want to hire a person that go visit the machine, because we recommend to visit the machine every 1 or 2 weeks, depending on the customer, depending on how they take care about the machines. We recommend to be there, to be how they are cleaning the machine, how they are treating the machine, and also being there to answer any question of the customer. So with that basic plan of 8 machines, if they reinvest the earning of the money, in 4 or 5 years, they can have the 20 or 24 machines. So in that period of time, for a new entrepreneur, for example, maybe in 4 or 5 years, they can quit what they are doing and they can dedicate 100% full time to their business, because it's their business that they have grown, that they have, and once he's now in the area, well, my name is a Cappuccino. It's not by me. It's by the market. They didn't know anybody Nelson Mendez. Nobody knew Nelson Mendez. Everybody knew. They call me Mr. Coffee, Don Cafe, Mr. Espresso, whatever. So a marketing guru told me, use that. That's a hook. Register your name. Mr. Coffee was already taken. Mr. Espresso, I didn't like it. But Mr. Cappuccino, who doesn't know in the state what is a cappuccino?
Right.
Cappuccino is a very known word. And Mr. Cappuccino, traditional Italian cappuccino, the American way, everything fast but good, everything quick but good quality. That's what we offer, and that was the perfect combination of the business. So after 2 or 3 or 4 years, my franchisees are going to be known as Mr. Cappuccino in the area. And they can use our brand. We have trademark our brand, and they can use it in their area. So that's another benefit that we offer. So the question, young entrepreneur, partial time, people almost to retire, partial time, people retire, partial time, and also the VAT that we would love to have some with them, of course, yes. And 24/7 support.
Agreed. But I think you've also created the opportunity for a full-time. You think about it, okay? 20 machines, 24 machines.
Yes.
Think of the territory and the amount of places that can take a machine. So for the person who wants to build a big business and say, well, okay, I can start with these packages, but I want to get to 80 machines. I can do that. They have that opportunity, correct?
Correct, of course.
Yes. 100 machines. If a territory has 2,000 businesses and they get to 100 machines, that's 5%. That's 5% penetration.
Right.
And the returns are going to be much quicker and much bigger.
Right.
So it's a business model for anybody.
I
right?
think so. I think so. I'm sure about that. I'm not saying that if I did it, so anyone can do it, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You know, in the fit that we're looking for, we look for people, people that is nice with other people. Everybody is nice with other people. That's not difficult. You only have to be you. You know, I listen. What do you do? I sell coffee. Oh yeah, how is that? I put my machine, my Italian 7,000 machine in your place, and you only buy the product from you. What is that? How is that? There you have a customer.
Yeah. You told me a story once about you demoed your machine and the coffee it produced and the different variety at it was a networking event or a trade show, and you got some instant customers, correct?
Yep. Yep.
I don't remember the description of the event, but I remember you describing how simple it can be once you demonstrate the state-of-the-art machine, the fact that it doesn't break down, and the fact that it produces a wonderful, wonderful variety of products.
Right. 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 Well, there was another one that is a new one. In right now, we are in hospitals too,
Yeah.
and there are hospitals everywhere. And when we did one of the first demo that we did, we took our demo machine to the doctor's lounge where the doctors go to take a soda, lunch, breakfast, whatever. They don't pay anything because the hospital pay for that. And I put my machine. Everybody, you know, so, hey, what is that? Coffee machine. When they taste the coffee machine, they didn't allow to take out the coffee machine. I had to go next day with a new machine, with the machine that wasn't, this is still there installed, and then take my demo machine because they didn't allow to take it away. That is our coffee is great. Our flavor is different. Everybody loves it. Oh, it's something amazing.
Is there anything else about yourself and Mr. Cappuccino franchise that you want to convey that we haven't talked about? Perhaps how to
Well,
contact
listen.
you?
Now, as I said before, we are starting. We are ready to go in many of the United States where we don't need any kind of registration. That include Georgia, the Carolinas,
Texas,
and all that.
Colorado.
There are another state that is
Colorado.
only a filling.
Yeah.
We already have Florida, of course, and we already have
Texas
Texas,
is a filing state. Yeah, simple.
and we're ready to go. We're ready to go. We just signed the agreement. Well, the first thing is that the person has to be convinced that is the business for them, and they can do it. Okay, and we have to talk about that, and we have to see also that they are a good fit because we're not. You have to protect our brand. We have to be sure that the business is going to be a good business for our franchise. See, so after that is just to come to Orlando. We train them. We open all the information they want to. We go to the field to clean some machines. So I want to see, you know, dirty hands in some cases. You know, make some maintenance. Not a big deal. Not rocket science. So it's something that they're going to learn. So they're going to disassemble one of the machine. I have one here right now. We are going to disassemble one of the machine and we are going to assemble again and test that the machine work because that's part of the thing. Okay, that's part of the thing. So
That's a part of the training and exposure
yes,
to the
yes,
brand and to the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
process.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
After that, excuse me, Rick.
No,
After
it's all right.
that, we go to the place when they are ready to go, that they have the machines, that they have the product, that they have a list of prospect of possible customer, and that they have maybe 3, 4, 5 appointments. Then I go there to their territory to help them open the territory, help them visit some customer. Why not? Maybe helping installing new the first machine and all that kind of support in their territory. So
That's great to know. Hands-on training from Nelson Mendez. And I just want to convey that the discovery process, a mutual discovery process about bringing a candidate into Mr. Cappuccino to learn about it and you learn about them is very straightforward and really very simple. And what I like is that they're interacting with you and all of your knowledge and experience.
Right.
And culminating with that visit to Orlando and that Discovery Day. So I can imagine somebody can just Google Mr. Cappuccino, find out your headquarters, your location, email address, phone number, if they want to contact you.
Everything is on the webpage, right? And they can fill a contact form there, and we contact them immediately to start to have our first call. That's the way. We're ready to go. I know that many people is ready to go. They're afraid. It's the first time. I did it too. I start from zero. I know how to do it. I saved that time.
Yes, you do. And the distribution of this podcast hopefully will help reach people, get people interested, contact you, contact me, and we can grow this franchise to super heights. I want to thank you, Nelson, for telling your story. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And you've got the last word. So close it out for us.
Well, this is a great country. I bless every time and each time that I can, because I didn't know that this country was like this. This is the opportunity country for sure. For sure, I can imagine me with maybe 20, 30, 40 years less. Wow, what I would do in that time here. But this is a great market. This market loves the coffee. Espresso coffee is growing in a velocity amazing. So everybody, it's every day there are new customers for a cappuccino, for a mochaccino, for cafe lattes, for macchiato, and we have it. And we don't need a barista. The barista is inside the machine, and it's coming from Italy in the microchip of the machine. So you're ready to go? Call us. Let's talk. Let's show you things, and then you will see that it's a good way to start a business from zero. Really.
Thank you, Nelson Mendez, for telling your story.
Thank to you, Rick. Thank to you too. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay.
You're welcome.
You've been tuning into Is Franchising Right for You? With your host, Rick Morgin. You can find more episodes on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others.